what he's saying now.
We weren't asking that. You can file for your citizenship 90 days before the 5-year anniversary of you getting your green card. You're not living in the United States. And then they're going to turn you around. May even hold you in jail. So, they have
you'll get me out, right?
Well, I will get you out, I promise you.
Yep, I'm cooking up curry chicken right now and bulgur rice. We just supposed to know bulgur rice.
Of course. It's going to be cooking with Brad and Squeeze.
Maybe we'll come down to Jacksonville, Florida. She can cook for us, and we can help. We can help her with all her legal problems right over the table.
If you want to get your immigration questions answered on Skype, or if you want to find out if you're ready for your bona fide marriage interview with our all-new Ratified Marriage segment, just call 1-800-529-5465 and ask for one of our producers. That's 1-800-529-5465.
Happy Halloween, everybody! Squeeze, a.k.a. Don't Shoot Me. You think I'm going to shoot you?
Not you, man.
Trayvon Martin?
Yeah, it's not you. I got to move this here.
Squeeze is Trayvon Martin.
Which way? I don't know which way.
And then he came and he goes, who are you supposed to be? I said, I didn't know that I was supposed to come with a costume.
You got to be my lawyer, man.
So I'm your lawyer.
Before I die.
Before you die. Or maybe I could be your bodyguard. I should jump in front of you.
Don't shoot.
Don't shoot.
Okay.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
I'm a black man. Don't shoot. All right. You know?
Squeeze annoying today.
I'm serious. I'm a black man. Don't shoot. Happy Halloween, by the way.
All right.
All right.
And you have your pumpkin there.
Got my pumpkin.
Yeah. Are you going to wear the Don't Shoot sign the entire show?
If there are cops here, I am going to wear that.
There's no cops here.
There's some good cops out there.
Yeah. Or there could be security. It was a security guard who shot Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
All right.
Same difference.
Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Please stay safe. By the way,
stay safe out there. Once again, welcome to the Brad and Squeeze Show. My name is David Squeeze Annakie, and of course, Brad Bernstein, who jumped off the show. He's my attorney today. All right. So, how are you, Brad?
Wonderful.
I thought you were coming as something.
I was coming as something.
And then what happened?
Because we discussed.
You made me wear a hoodie.
We discussed
outfit, and
we discussed you were going to be Black Donald Trump, and we were going to put the wig on, which we got, which is right over here. I'll move it over. Okay, so we put the wig on, the pumpkin instead, and then we had a song for you to sing from Alexander Hamilton as Black Donald Trump. And Squeeze says, I'm not singing Alexander Hamilton songs.
You know, the Jamaicans are saying now, I'm saying to the Jamaicans, Brad, take me for Poppy Show.
So Squeeze comes off. Squeeze comes off the plane. So this is what he wore on the plane.
This is exactly
what you wore on the plane. He came in from Jamaica.
Yeah.
So he says, you know what? I'm putting the hood up. I'm Trayvon Martin.
I'm Trayvon Martin.
But you didn't tell me you were coming with a costume because at the end you said I'm not doing costume.
Look, it's easy for me. Because I'm black already.
Yeah.
So all I do is put up the hoodie, and that's it.
Yeah, all right.
This is coming out.
Meanwhile, do you know Halloween? Halloween is you know what's the most dangerous time for Halloween?
What?
For your phone. Did you know that?
Why?
It says here there's a 45% increase in claims for lost, stolen, or damaged phones every Halloween. Got to watch your phone. 65% of iPhones are stolen today. On October 31st. 65% of all iPhones ever stolen in the year is on this one day.
Wow.
Probably because nobody has pockets in their costumes, I guess. People are getting drunk.
I guess this is like carnival in the islands because,
right,
you lose
people
your
are getting
phones.
into mischief.
Yeah.
Right? I don't remember growing up Halloween being such a big deal. I mean, I remember it was a big deal for kids, but I don't remember it being a big deal for adults. It's turned into a big deal for adults.
It is a big deal now.
Right. Or maybe just people just get really scared on Halloween and forget where their phone
Halloween is?
No.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll find out from Jill in our ear real soon.
You don't know what the meaning is either. Jill will look it up.
They have some crazy crap about evil and all sorts of crap. I don't know how true it is, but
Other news, quickly, Squeeze, before we get into answering.
What else is in the news on the Brad and Squeeze
Before we get into answering immigration questions, 4 counter-protesters charged with covering their face during the Charlottesville protest. So the counter-protesters who covered their faces, and there's a law, I guess going back in the days with the Ku Klux Klan putting their sheets over their head, that you're not allowed to protest with your face covered. And yet the counter-protesters did that, and 4 of them were arrested, and the trial starts today on Halloween. Isn't that weird?
Weird is an understatement.
Yeah. It's also the biggest year for horror movies ever in the United States. You like horror movies? I don't like them.
I love horror movies.
I don't, because I think it's happening to me. You know, like when the guy's like, going in the bathroom and about to open up the shower curtain, the guy's there with like the knife. I'm like, no, don't do it, don't do it. I get scared and I can't watch.
You know what I was for Halloween?
What?
I was the clown, Pennywise.
That's scary. I don't like clowns. Clowns scare me. I've never met a clown that didn't scare me. Clowns are scary people. I don't like corny people.
I don't know how good our camera is. Let's see if they can do a close-up,
Right. What do you, the clown?
No,
we should, that's as close as you get.
That's as close as we get. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. So that's what I was. That's actually me at fiction.
And did anybody know who you were?
Well, hold on. Don't move the camera yet. I'm going to actually show you that people did find out who I was after I did this. That showed part of my face.
Ah.
See?
So you came out of
the mask.
I would never be a clown. They scare me.
It scared a lot of people, though.
It scared me.
Thank you so much. The producers are working and the tech people are working.
Right.
Like, real cool.
Mm-hmm. All right, and by the way, the scariest news of the day is that our president over here, the orange guy in the White House, I don't know if anyone got the joke there. We put the hair on the pumpkin, the orange guy in the White House.
What did our president do?
He surrounds himself with thieves. Surprisingly.
And why is
that? And the Justice Department announced yesterday that George Papadopoulos pled guilty. Nobody heard of this guy before. He was on President Trump's inner circle of foreign policy advisors. And he was, the White House said that he was not a paid person he was a low-level volunteer, which is really not the case. Trump announced him as one of his 4 policy advisors when the campaign started. He was a paid operative. And apparently 1 month after he came onto the campaign, he was contacting Russia to have the Russians help get dirt on Hillary Clinton. And then he pled guilty to lying to the FBI about that. And now the special prosecutor, most likely, my guess is, has had him wired the last 4 or 5 months. So who knows who he has talked to about this? Because he pled guilty several months ago.
So when you say wired, you mean?
Because they just came out with it, but it was a secret that he pled guilty. Now I don't know for sure, but my guess is
because he did this on October the 5th.
Right. Yeah. My guess is that they put a wire on him. And they went around and talked to people. So who knows now? This is my guess. I don't know this for a fact. Nobody's ever written about it. It's just my assumption.
Right.
So, who else did he talk to in these last 3 months?
Did he talk to you?
He did not talk to me.
Well,
who else did he talk to in the last 3 months that may have said something?
I didn't tell you to put a cream
about this. And by the way, do you know if somebody is actually found guilty of helping to rig the election? That's treason, Squeeze. Do you know the last people that got found guilty of treason? You know what happened to them?
They died.
They died. You know who they were?
Who were they?
The Rosenbergs. They sold nuclear secrets to Russia in the 1950s. And they got the electric chair.
Yep.
So, treason is punishable by death.
No joke.
And if you took part in some sort of scheme with a foreign government to rig the election or to sway the election illegally, that's treason. Or it could be. Could be, depending on what happened. And who knows who this guy talked to. So the big news of the day yesterday was not that Manafort and his partner, Gates, committed tax fraud. Okay? It just shows what Trump, thinks about draining the swamp. Okay, he goes on national TV, says, "I'm going to drain the swamp," and the first person he puts on his campaign to run his campaign is the biggest monster in the swamp. Guy made $18 million, kept it offshore, kept illegal profits, never paid taxes on it. But we're going to drain the swamp, and we're going to bring this guy on our campaign. But that's not the biggest news of the day. Not the biggest news of the day that Trump is making the swamp bigger. Biggest news of the day is that this guy Papadopoulos, who Trump says is a volunteer, and who the special prosecutor in the FBI, and who Trump, in his own admission 6 months earlier, said he's part of my 4-man foreign policy team. 1 month after he came on to the campaign, reached out to Russians to get dirt on Hillary from stolen emails from John Podesta's email server, and tried to use that information, and whether he did or didn't, to sway the election. And he has pled guilty to that, lying to the government about what he did and when he knew it 4 months ago. And we don't know what the government has done with him for the last 4 months, but usually when they don't tell the world that so-and-so pled guilty, it's because they're using him to gain more information as an informant. Just like your low-level informant on the street. And I guarantee you, now whether they got anything or not, I have no idea.
It's a whole different.
But I guarantee you, they put a wire on this guy, and he walked around Washington, D.C. talking to everybody and anybody for the last 4 months. So, it'd be interesting to see what happens. And then Trump says, oh, well, I can pardon anybody.
Did he speak to the president?
What?
Did he speak to the
president? I don't know. We don't know who he spoke to. And then it's going to be very interesting as it gets closer to Trump and Trump starts pardoning all of his relatives and close associates. At what point can the president no longer pardon to avoid, a constitutional crisis? Because the Constitution doesn't make him the king. The Constitution doesn't allow him to pardon people to avoid his own criminal investigation. So, listen, we're not political here, Squeeze, apparently. No, Jill says this is not a political program, but we seem to keep going there.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween. To me, that is the scariest thing that's going on right now. That is the scariest thing that's going on. All right, so we have some people on hold to answer their scary immigration questions today. Hopefully they're not that scary. You want to start off the show, Squeeze?
Yeah, I want to start the show off. Once again, I want to say happy Halloween to everybody out there. Be very careful. Be safe. All right, like Brad noted, quite a few crazy things happen each and every single Halloween. All right, make sure you keep your iPhone at home.
Yeah. Right. All right, let's go.
All right, but anyway, let's. What we do here is we answer immigration questions. So let's just get to a call. 93.5 WVIP FM. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I got to remind you, we are on Facebook at David Squeeze Annakie, at the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, also Brad H. Bernstein. Are we on YouTube, Spar and Bernstein?
No, YouTube doesn't like us right now.
Okay, all right, no problem. Well, let's get to 93.5 FM that likes us.
Pansy.
Hi, good morning, Brad.
Good morning.
I have a question. I came to the United States about 3 months ago in the end of September. My green card, I picked it up in New York. My daughter in New York filed for me. But my daughter in Connecticut came and picked me up, took me to her house, and then she took me to the Social Security office to get my Social Security office number in Connecticut.
Okay.
I just got my green card this weekend in New York.
Okay.
Is it all right for me to apply for a driver's license in Connecticut?
Sure. You can move wherever you want. You can move to all 50 states. You get a driver's license in the state where you live. No problem.
And that's no problem? Do I have to change my green card address or anything like that?
I mean, by law, you're supposed to. You should file an AR-11 and tell them to move to Connecticut. You can just file that and at your convenience and submit it. It's not a big deal, though. In other words, if your green card was mailed to you in New York, that doesn't mean you're stuck in New York forever. You can pick up the next day and leave. That's the beauty of 50 states. You're allowed to move in any 50 states. All right?
All right,
Pansy. Happy Halloween.
But hold on.
Yeah.
She said she's going to pick up her green card?
She got her green card mailed to her at an address in New York, and now she wants to move to Connecticut.
Okay.
So I said, go.
Okay. Cool.
What are you dressed as for Halloween?
My bathrobe.
Your bathrobe. She is going as a woman in a bathrobe. Do you know, Pansy, I once went for Halloween in a trench jacket, and I had no shirt on. And I had shorts on underneath, but I looked like I was a guy who would expose himself. probably would be much more relevant now.
Let me just say this.
That was a costume, by the way.
As long as you're not Harvey Weinstein.
Right. I said much more relevant now. Much more relevant now.
But if you are,
yes, much more relevant. Now, I did not expose myself, obviously, because I had shorts on underneath.
Thank God.
Right. Yes, thank God is right.
Not what a cop
All
said.
right. It just reminded me of something I did in college. All right. 1-800-529-5466.
Anything else you did in college you want to tell us?
By the way, that would be a great Harvey.
You want to tell us about anything else?
I've done a lot in college. 1-800-529-5465. That would be a great Harvey Weinstein costume now, by the way. You just put a pillow under your stomach, unless you're fat like me, and you just put on a bathrobe, and you're like you're Harvey Weinstein, right?
I wonder if anyone dressed up as him.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Anyway.
All right, Kay.
Hello?
Hi,
Yes.
Kay. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
What's going on?
My mother filed for me from 2006. I'm a farm worker. I work here 6 years. Seasonal worker. So I don't hear anything about the filing. I heard from the lawyer when I was
Let me ask you a question, Kay. Are you single or married?
I'm single.
All right, so if your mom filed for you in 2006, you should have a green card today. You should
No.
have.
Actually, when I called, I didn't hear anything about them. I called them in 2014, and they told me that they throw it out from 2010.
All right, Kay, stop. You should have a green card today. Okay? I'm not sure about lawyers throwing it out. Immigration and the U.S. Embassy may terminate your case because you didn't prosecute it. Somebody fell asleep on all of this. Okay? But you can try to revive it. You can try to reestablish your priority date if your mother refiles for you again. We can help you get a green card, Kay. What you need to...
Kay, she must file again. Huh?
Kay, listen to me. The last thing I want to hear is bad advice from bad lawyers. Okay? So what you are telling me is bad advice from bad lawyers. They said this. They said that. They. I don't care about they. Listen to moi.
Yeah.
Moi. Listen to me. Yes, your mom could refile for you. It is also possible you can get that old case back, that priority date back, either because immigration never terminated your case, unlike what your lawyer is saying to you, or if you have the same petitioner filing for the same beneficiary in the same visa category on a previously approved I-130, you can request your old priority date and you can adjust your status immediately.
Okay.
Don't listen to they, and you want. I'm gonna and don't.
They. We talk about they so much.
They. Okay. If you know what happens with they, you end up.
What?
You know, it's like. I don't know what happens with they, but you end up with Kay without a green card when she should have got it 10 years ago. Hold on 1 second. All right. 1-800-529-5466. I didn't have a good retort for that, unfortunately. Yeah. All right. So let's do Rochelle in Manhattan.
I can't wait to get to that segment.
Okay, and then after Rochelle in Manhattan, we did this special thing where
I can't
for Halloween, where Jill and Patrice had me go to Fort Greene, Brooklyn, to the Halloween dog costume show.
I saw that. I was in Jamaica watching that.
No, but wait until you see the whole segment. It's quite. You're either going to say, Brad, I quit the show. I never want to do this again. But let's go to Rochelle first, and then we're going to go to the Halloween costume parade in Fort Greene, Brooklyn.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Rochelle.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Rochelle. I'm calling from Manhattan. My question is, a friend of mine, her husband, his daughter filed for him. He got a green card. However, coming here, he got a re-entry permit, and he spends most of his time in Jamaica.
Right.
He came back this year to do his citizenship. Because of the re-entry permit, he never got it. So now he went back to Jamaica. Can he file for his wife since he has the re-entry permit and he's out of the country now?
Yeah, he has a green card. He has a green card. And as long as he has a green card, he can file for her. Now, it'll take about 1.5 years. he has to actually come back to the United States before the expiration of his re-entry permit. And when his wife goes into the U.S. Embassy in a year and a half, they're going to have to establish that the two of them are going to live permanently in the United States, that he's only in whatever country he went back to for a temporary period of time. But absolutely, at this moment, today, he could file an I-130 visa petition for sure.
But the re-entry permit, he's in Jamaica and it's expired. So what is he supposed to do? Come back here and...
Okay, so if his re-entry permit expired, he is not going to be allowed back in the United States. So at this moment in time, he has abandoned his permanent residence. Because if he gets on a plane to come back to the United States on a re-entry permit that expired and he's been out of the country for years, they're going to turn him around at the airport and say, you abandoned your permanent residence.
No, his last time here was in May of this year.
May of this year.
Yes.
Okay, so then he entered and then he went home, then he should come back immediately, yes. Okay, he should come back with less than 6 months. I don't know if we're at that 6-month mark yet, but we're getting close. June, July, August, September. Yeah, he should come back immediately.
All right, and when he comes back,
and then he can file the I-130, correct.
All right, then thank you.
All right. All right, so Squeeze.
Someone smart ass.
What? What's a smart ass?
Well, we got our social media crew over there, and they put up under my name. Yeah, Stacy, I didn't realize it was Halloween. This is just how black men dress in America. Be funny. Anyway.
All right. So 1-800-529-5465. So we went to the Halloween pumpkin Halloween costume contest.
Brad went to a dog parade.
Right. Now, I went to a dog parade to celebrate Halloween on Saturday.
You went to a dog parade.
And you know what? I think it doesn't really need an introduction. It really speaks for itself. All right, let's see what happens.
Were there any black people there?
There were a few.
Oh, okay.
Just a few. Just a few.
Just a few, right?
Just a few.
I'm just checking.
Right. All right, let's see what happened at the Halloween pumpkin parade.
So the Brad and Squeeze Show never takes a day off. We're here Saturday for the Great Pumpkin Dog Halloween Costume Contest. I'm glad I got that right. And it's Saturday. We're in Fort Greene in Brooklyn. And my producer Jill and my producer Patrice dragged me out with my dogs. And we have dressed up Lucky and T-Bone as legal beagles. Now, Lucky put on the costume. T-Bone refused, so T-Bone is fucking paralegal. That's what we've decided.
It's okay.
We have a lot of competition here. I've seen dogs with grills on top of them.
You can just, you can rip me apart
I
when
don't
we come
think
back.
we're going to win, but we're going to try. When I signed up, and I said that my dogs are dressed as lawyers, the person who signed me up said, nobody likes lawyers. Come up with a different costume. But we'll see what happens. And meanwhile, we're going to walk around and we see dogs from everywhere. I've seen a Portuguese water dog, I've seen French bulldogs, and we've asked if they've had any immigration problems coming in and out of the country, and they apparently didn't. So obviously dogs, it's a lot easier for dogs to travel in and out than people. That's what's wrong with America today. But let's walk around and let's go visit some dogs.
What are you guys dressed as?
I'm George McFly.
This is Marty McFly, and I'm Doc Brown.
You're the dog friend?
I'm Doc Brown.
Oh, Doc Brown. Yes. And how is 1952? Did you drive the DeLorean? Thank you very much. So who are you dressed as?
My dog and I were together dressed as a turtle.
You are a turtle together.
We were a turtle together. Bowie was supposed to be a turtle on her own, but she did not want to wear the hat anymore. So I'm helping her out, and I'm wearing her hat.
Yes, and I hear you are getting married.
I'm getting married. I'm getting married tomorrow.
Congratulations! And this is what you do the day before your wedding.
This is how one gets ready for a wedding. Yeah.
And are you in the bridal party? No?
She's too nervous. She's very, very shy.
Well, congratulations on the marriage. By the way, we're matrimonial attorneys. I hope you never have to call us.
I'm sure we never will for the next couple of years.
At least 20 or 30.
Sure, hopefully.
Life.
Life, yeah, okay.
Congratulations, thanks.
Okay.
One love.
You're wearing on your head what?
Poop emojis.
Poop emoji. Have you been called any funny names with the poop emoji on your head today?
Yeah, definitely.
So we're up next in like 2 more. There's a lot of stiff competition. I don't even think we're going to even come close to winning. But let's see what happens.
Come on over here. We are our legal beagles. And clients. Do you do free consultations? Free consultations for everyone. Come on over here, legal beagle and clients.
So that's a wrap here from Fort Greene at the Pumpkin Halloween Dog Costume Contest. I believe our legal beagles did not even place in 1st, 2nd, 3rd through 10, but maybe next year, our costumes falling apart, we're gonna go and relax for the rest of the day. See you all back on the Brad and Squeeze Show. I'm all wrapped up here, look at this. Come on, legal beagles, let's go. Yes, his little paw, he can't walk. We're good?
Brad, you gotta be an engineer, man. It's okay, it's all right. Back to your old job.
Yes!
You know, back to the old studio.
Oh my God.
Back to the future.
So that's what we did, Squeeze. What do you think of me and the dogs?
Well, I found out that nobody likes dogs that watches us on
Obviously
Facebook.
not.
Okay? And also, I'm quite sure the people are 93.5 FM.
What
the hell is going on? Because when I hear the audio,
yeah. Meanwhile, I do want to talk about Halloween liability issues, Squeeze.
Okay, liability issues.
Yes,
that's good.
You know, people like getting dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people like to trick or treat.
Right.
And there's lots of parties. Okay, but you know, I do got to talk about, since this is the Brad and Squeeze Show,
right?
The how to protect yourself from liability on Halloween.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, if you own a house, Squeeze.
Yeah.
Do you own a house?
Yes, I do.
Okay, up in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have no obstacles on the pathway from the sidewalk to the door when the kids are trick-or-treating. Because the kid's going to get knocked over. Guess what? Guess who's getting sued, Squeeze? Moi. So make sure you got no obstacles, okay? And now, you know what other people do? They like to put Halloween decorations, and that also makes obstacles, where the wire's going across the web, all right?
Yeah.
But make sure you have a safe pathway back and forth.
No ghost blocking you.
No ghost blocking you or anything, because
No
somebody's going to
ghouls
trip and fall, and guess who's getting sued? You.
Moi.
Okay? Make sure you don't make it too dark, Squeeze.
Right.
If you make it too dark and you're inviting people to trick or treat in your home and knock on your door and it's too dark and there's not a clear pathway with lights, guess what? Guess who's getting sued, Squeeze?
Moi.
Correct. And then, of course, always be mindful of fire safety. You know, there's always the guy who's wiring his whole house, you know, with lights all up and down.
Right.
And you always hear one time a year somebody's house goes up in flames. So make sure when you're wiring your house and you're putting all these candles in, be mindful of fire safety. Always, Squeeze, I don't know if you've checked or not, but check your insurance. Is your insurance up to date?
Yep.
Your premiums up to date?
Yep.
Because you could be doing all of this stuff, and if your insurance isn't up to date, Squeeze,
everything is rolling into that
guess who's on?
Mortgage and all.
Guess who is on?
Moi.
Correct. And Squeeze, most importantly, because I know you can get real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Don't make it too real.
Get real.
Do not make it too real. I read an article, although this is quite ridiculous.
Real.
Correct. But I read an article, Squeeze, although this is quite ridiculous, that one woman sued the Realm of Terror attraction after she tripped over rubber mats while being chased by an employee with a chainsaw. And if this happened in your house and someone got scared in your house because you scared them and they ran out and they tripped running out, you will get sued. And most importantly, Squeeze, this is actually the most important thing. If you are having... What is this?
I guess
that's the scary house.
Right.
And the most important thing, Squeeze, and this is actually true, they have what's called dram shop laws. Okay, and the dram shop laws are, you know, if you serve somebody too much alcohol and then they get in a car and drive away and hurt somebody else,
you're on the hook.
Right.
So as they say, when you're serving booze along with booze
and booze.
Right. You like
So
that? You like that one?
booze,
Yeah. Make sure you keep in mind that your guests leave your home in good shape. There you got it, Squeeze.
There you have it. I want to say, by the way, earlier, that segment of the show was truly for the dogs.
It was for the dogs.
My numbers are really for the dogs right now.
All right.
Makes USA Credit Repair looks like they're great.
You know what? Let's test. Let's test how USA Credit Repair does.
What the hell? We might as well now.
Let's test how USA Credit Repair does to the dog segment.
Oh,
let's test how USA Credit Repair does to the dog segment.
Listen, we seriously need to get some immigration questions, though. So people, call us up right now with your immigration questions. The number is 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. Someone actually said, "Yay, listen to this man. He really knows immigration law." So call us up right now, 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Going to go to some calls, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit about USA
And by the way,
Credit,
right? And then we're going to take some calls, and then what we're going to do is we're going to talk USA Credit, and then we're going to do some rapid fire. So everybody who wants to leave their social media questions on this Halloween day, now is the time to do it. 1-800-529-5465 is the number to call. It's also the number for my law office.
Absolutely.
But leave your questions on social media at law offices of Spar and Bernstein and David Squeeze Annakie, and we'll get to them in the rapid fire.
Andrew. Andrew, sorry about the wait, man. Listen, what's your question for Brad? Quickly.
Wait, Baba.
Andrew.
Andrew, to talking to you. Hello.
Yes, Andrew, sorry about the wait. Go ahead with your question for the attorney, Brad.
Yeah, sorry I was away forever, yes. My question to you is, in 2014, right, I think it was 2014, I filed for my wife and my son. And my wife passed, so now it's left my son. So my thing is, I already filed for he's in the last stage, and now I have to file for my last paper is submitting this affidavit of support. I just came up yesterday from the Caribbean. You just had a hurricane and all that. So can I change my status? Because usually we go through the Barbados and get the visa, etc.
Wait. You filed? You just told me you filed for your wife and she passed away.
I filed for my wife and my son.
Okay, so what is it? So why are you asking about changing your status? If you filed for your wife and son, you have a green card.
Because they was in the Caribbean.
So why are you asking about yourself and changing your status? I don't understand your question.
No, not myself. No, maybe you misunderstand me. My son's status, because...
Oh, your son is here in the United States right now. How old is your son?
He's 12.
He's 12 years old. Who sponsored you for your green card?
That was years ago. That was my aunt. That was years ago. That was 1993. I have that since 1993.
Okay, so your son was born after you got your green card.
He was born in the Caribbean.
I understand that. He was born after. Yes. He was born after you got your green card.
Yes.
And when did you file for him? Did you file an I-130 visa petition for him?
Yes, I did.
Are you a citizen or a resident now?
I'm a resident. Never filed citizenship.
Okay. And when did you file? When you said you filed for your wife and son, did you file separate I-130s for your wife and a separate I-130 for your son, or did you just file two different filing fees went in?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And how long ago did you file for your son?
The same time. But
what year was that? What year was that?
I believe it was 2013 or 2014. I can't recap.
Okay. And you have the approval notice for that?
Yes, I mean, right now he's in his last stage. I already did
Wait. You know what? You got to answer my questions, because this will go on for the next 30 minutes. I want to help you, but listen to the question I'm asking you. Do you have the approval notice for the I-130?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you do. Okay. And your son is in the United States right now?
Yes, he is.
And how long has he been in the United States?
As of yesterday.
As of yesterday. Okay, you gotta wait, and he got 6 months to stay here?
Yes.
Okay.
That's how it works, yes.
All right. So now what you need to do is you have to wait 90 days. Okay, he got here yesterday. So yesterday was October 30th, November 30th, December 30th, January 30th. On February 1st, of 2018, you can put an adjustment application in for your son. If you put it in before that time, he's going to be denied, even as a 13-year-old. Okay, so at the beginning of the new year, come see me.
Okay, I see.
You understand? Hold on.
1-800-529-5465. Once again, this is the Brad and Squeeze Show. We're reminding everybody out there, please, if there's anything that we've ever asked you to do today, I am personally asking you to reshare our pages right now.
All right, let's go to some more questions.
All right, let's go to some more.
Richmond.
Yeah. Richmond, how are you?
It's immigration from Richmond. Or maybe this is Richmond. Hello? It's Rochelle.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, it's tin mackerel and bread.
Tin mackerel and bread. That's what you're eating?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. What's your question for Brad?
Anyway, my question is I finished a green card approved, and I have 4 kids that I want to do the paperwork for. So I want to know, how long will it take, and if, I would need, affidavit support or something?
You have a green card. You have a green card and you want to file for your kids? Was that your question?
Yes.
And how old are your kids?
2 18, 1 15, and 1 7.
How did you get your green card?
2 married, but me and my husband had broke up, so I got my approval to battered spouse.
Okay, so you can include your kids on your battered spouse petition. You're going to need an affidavit of support for them, but they're derivative beneficiaries on that battered spouse petition. They're eligible for their green card immediately. Where are they now?
They're here, and they're
okay,
undocumented
so then they should be adjusting their status. Hold on 1 second. We can help.
All right. I'm going to go back and go eat your dirty gal, all right? You know, that's what they call tin mackerel, right? Dirty gal.
I didn't understand what she said, and I didn't understand what you said. So between the two of you, you're having your own conversations. 1-800-529. By the way, I told this woman, I said she has to adjust her status.
What did you?
She hangs the phone up.
Call back.
So I don't understand. So somebody calls and says, what do I do? How do I do it?
Yeah.
And I put them on hold so someone could explain to them what they should do and how they can do it, because obviously whoever filed their VAWA application did not advise them that, by the way, you can include your kids on this case.
There you go.
All right? The kids should have gotten the green card on the same day that she did. Why that didn't happen, I can't tell you.
And that's one of the...
And now I'm frustrated. Now I feel like I have been tricked.
No,
it's a trick. It's not a treat. I want to give people treats, not tricks.
I don't think you were.
I feel tricked. I feel tricked.
I just believe that people really need to take us very seriously when we're talking law here. I mean, we put some humor in it and some twist in it just to entertain and keep the ones who are not interested right now in it. So if and when,
such as dogs. Dogs.
You know, when I heard that idea, I said,
not every idea is the best idea, Squeeze.
I kept saying it last week, you're really going to do that, right?
Not every idea
and
is the best idea.
You know what?
And you want to know what? After I was done, by the way, after I was done, I go to Jill. I said to Jill, next year we're coming back strong with a good costume. She goes, we're doing this again? I go, yes.
And I'm like, you know what?
We're going to do this again every year until people get interested in the dog costume contest.
I'm not being racist, but I was born black, I'll stay black. But I'm not going to a dog parade, all right?
Millicent.
Hello?
Yes, hello there. How are you?
I'm okay. You, Squeeze?
Well, let me ask you something. Would you go to a dog parade with your dogs?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Of course she would. Of course she would. Why? Just because? Why are you being so socially insensitive?
Because
people of all races, colors, and creeds love dogs.
I didn't say we didn't love dogs, but all I know is that it made our numbers. WVIP is going to call me and say, Squeeze, I need to speak with you.
Yeah,
what happened? We have no listeners anymore.
All right, Melissa, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is, Brad. My son filed for me I-130, and I do get approved, but I have a problem. I did not come in my name, so I don't get approved.
You got a big problem because that's a misrepresentation. You can't get a waiver through your son. You can only get a waiver through a spouse or a parent. So you have an enormous problem, and the enormous problem is you're wasting your time with your son because you can't get a green card through him. Right. Hold on 1 second. I don't have the answer for you.
Help you here, all right?
I don't know if I can help, but hold on.
Well,
I certainly don't have. I don't have the answer. It's not through the son, that's for sure. All right, let's go. Let's go to Kevin.
Kevin, how you doing?
Hello.
Kevin, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm okay.
Oh, very good. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't have any dog, man. Dog is only back home. I don't keep dog here.
All right, I couldn't hear
breaking
that.
up. He's breaking up a little bit. What's your question, though?
Like 7, 8 years ago.
All right, we have a bad connection.
And if somebody can pick him up and see if we can get a better connection with him.
Yeah, just hang up our call back. Yeah.
Earl. Also, Earl with a bad connection. Earl had a bad connection too. Someone pick up Earl.
All right.
Let's try Nadia. Nadia.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nadia. How is everything?
Bad connection too. What's with this?
No, it's a good connection.
Oh, now we're good. Now
I can hear you. Nadia, you have a dog, right, Nadia?
He just passed away years ago.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
Do you want to get a new one?
Brad's got two.
No.
I have two. What dog did you have?
What kind?
What kind of dog?
Oh, Rottweiler.
A Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would eat my dogs.
I had one of those.
Rottweiler would eat my dogs.
Yes.
The Rottweiler would see my dogs and go, breakfast. Right?
Yes.
All right, Nadia. What can I do to help you?
What's your question, Nadia?
Yes, I have two big questions. I know it's later for you guys. My first question is, if your mom just get the green card, 2 or 3 months ago, and you overage and you've been overstayed your visa in the United States, if your mom can file for you, and if there's a possibility to send you back home. Because you don't want
as long as you're single, your mom can certainly file for you. It's about 6 to 7 years. Of course, you don't want to go back home. But if that's what you need to do, that's what you would have to do. You would get a provisional waiver. And as long as you get the provisional waiver, you would go home for about 2 weeks, get your green card, and come back. It's scary in your head, and I know scary because it's Halloween. Yeah. Okay, but it's not. You're like, is it a trick or a treat? If I go home, it's a treat if you go home with a provisional waiver. It's a trick if you go home without the provisional waiver.
Okay, so how long are you gonna take?
It's right now. It's 5, 6, 7 years, but who knows what will be? Let your mom file for you, and you'll worry about down the line what'll happen. Maybe it'll go faster. Maybe it'll go slower. No one knows. Maybe there'll be other options for you. Just because your mom, the biggest mistake people make, Squeeze, is they say it's going to take too long. I'm not going to file. And my answer to that is, do it anyway, because you got